Good morning. This is the third video that I'm preparing for this website, Americans United Against Fascist and Theocratic Government.org. I want to draw to your attention and summarize some of the things that are attached to this website. There are two pages that come from the Wikipedia, the website encyclopedia. One's on fascism, the other one is on theocracy. Please read those pages and understand what they mean. Fascism was aptly defined by Benito Mussolini, the Italian dictator, who with Hitler fought against the United States in World War II. Ultimately, he was hanged by his own people and his body was dragged through the streets. Fascism, you will note, is a corporate-guided society, and it loves war. It loves to kill and to occupy other nations. It cares not how much money it expends on this kind of activity. We saw it with Mussolini in Italy, and we saw it with Hitler in Nazi Germany, although there is a little difference in the understanding of fascism between those two World War II characters. Theocracy, on the other hand, means that some individual, usually a guy, man, cons the people into a belief that he has some divine connection with God, and God is the ultimate parliament, decider of what people on earth have to do, what their laws are, what their behavior must or must not be. Throughout history, we've had these kind of individuals for a long period of time called the Dark Ages. Theocracy reigned with the Catholic Church running things, and when one studies the history of Christianity under that kind of concept, the murders of millions and millions of people have occurred under Christian theocracy, and that, of course, stopped somewhat when the Protestant movement began with Martin Luther hanging his thesis upon the door of the church in Gutenberg, Germany. I'd like you to pay attention to one of the attachments here, which is a speech given by Ezra Taft Benson on the 6th of April, 1976, where he's laying out this beautiful defense of the Constitution of the United States. I think I've made some kind of editor's notes at the bottom of that. While he was giving that speech from the pulpit of the old tabernacle on Temple Square in Salt Lake City, his dark side was organizing an effort to defeat the Equal Rights Amendment. That is so that women could be equal in the United States to men. They used the pretext that, oh, it was because of homosexuality. Well, maybe there was some justification because the term sex was used instead of gender. I hope again that we'll get that going again. But this face commenting like he did, making Mormons appear to be such wonderful defenders and supporters of the Constitution, is a total whitewash con job. Because we know behind the scenes there's all kinds of unconstitutional actions going on. At the time that Benson made this speech, in fact, long years before he made that speech, which he doesn't acknowledge in that speech, the Founding Fathers were unable to get the Constitution ratified by all the states until they made some amendments called the Bill of Rights. Rights which were not contained in the original draft of the Constitution, rights which gave to the people civil rights so that they could stand up against the tyranny of government. He didn't read his constitutional issues like he should have. We talk about Bruce McConkie's book, Mormon Doctrine. He says in there, and I want you to read that one, he says in there that nothing further needs to be done because the church as it's set up now, and as it was during the Brigham Young days in Utah, and that's under one of those attachments also, was that the various degrees of Melchizedek priesthood held a co-equal position in the civil political government of the territory of Utah. At least this was up until the time that Utah became a state. The United States, since World War II, has probably been influenced by individuals like Ezra Taft Benson because it has followed a fascist policy. Hitler died, Benito Mussolini died, and yet their concept of fascism is going on. And believe it or not, the nation of the earth, probably led by the United States, is following a fascist corporate-directed policy. We spend more money on building armaments and fighting wars than the entire rest of the world in toto spends on such kinds of things. That is fascism. I don't care how much we say save our democracy has already been turned to fascism, and that's a sad state of affairs. We need to bring attention to that and end it. Attached also to the website here is the letter that I sent to President Obama and others concerning that large structure being built down there in Lehi, Utah to contain all of these records that are being stolen surreptitiously by electronic eavesdropping around the world to help build up the bulk of information to allow the Mormon Church at some future day to utilize and target any individual that's so listed in this large mammoth conquest of illegal information. That's got to be stopped. I want people to read my book. The proceeds of sale for my book, Under the Mormon Tree, will go to help build this organization so that we can get together the legal brains that are needed to put an end to this nonsense. The Bolshevik revolution in Russia, 1917, was pulled off by a group of people referred to as Bolsheviks. And Bolshevik meant minority. There was less than 2% of the population of Russia at the time that pulled it off. In the United States, we have 300 million plus people. And the Mormon people in the United States are less than 2%. They have slightly more than 2% representing various states in the Congress. So don't tell me that that minority can not pull off this thing that I'm alleging, because they can. It's already been proven by history. So please get organized. Help me. Get behind me. Let's get this thing put together. Let's stop this silly, insane nonsense of building up the kingdom of God on earth by covert sedition. Let's get it stopped. Let's put an end to it. Thank you.